Hi, I'm Michelle Scally-Doylney here on behalf of IFSG, the International Feng Shui Guild. And today I am here with Lisa Alban and one of her students, Michelle McTeague. Lisa, I'm wondering if you can just jump in and tell us about your school, the Feng Shui perspective you teach, curriculum, anything you'd like.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I love your videos and I love learning about all the other schools and directors. This has been amazing.
Great, great. Thank you. So if you can tell us name of your school.
Oh, yeah, such a broad question, right?
I
So
know
I'm
I threw a
Lisa.
lot out there.
Yeah,
Yes.
you threw it all out there. I'm Lisa Alban. I am a co-founder of the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui, and we are Steve Kodad is my dear friend and also a mentor. And we founded the school together back in, oh gosh, 2019, right after the birth of my son. And Steve and I got back together after that. And I said, gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my desire to learn Feng Shui? And at that time, he said, it's been a dream of mine to take this to the next level. Let's join and put together a curriculum for a school. So, and it came together quite effortlessly without a lot of force, which I really love. Steve brings the perspective. He is the guru for feng shui and real estate. And he has so much out there. He was such a joy to learn with, really inspired me to deepen my practice in feng shui and to take my education to a deeper level. And then from my side, I deeply love form school, BTB. We'll say we're like the Donnie and Marie, or like feng shui, or like I'm a little bit of the hippie side, and he's a little bit more of the corporate and the more clinical side of feng shui. But we do the yin and yang of it together. And in our partnership, we formed a curriculum around that. We formed a curriculum deeply embedded with feng shui principles that are, we cover everything, but we really dial into with our students, helping them to form their practice around BTB and landform. I don't know if I covered everything because that was such a broad question.
Yeah, wonderful. I like how you said it was like the yin yang partnership.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of schools that, especially since COVID,
Mhm.
have been managing the balance of in-person, online, how they do their curriculum. I'm wondering if you can just give a little detail about what your program is like or how you do your program for students.
Yeah, I'll say we are very connected with all of our students from that inception and from the kickoff and beyond that. Our first big session we held formally, and this was right at the very beginning of COVID, that we launched and kicked off our first big course. And we attracted students from all across the US that flew down here to visit us at Sunken Gardens in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is nearby where Steve and I live. And it was such a great, wonderful, in-depth class. And it was in a space where we could really walk through the gardens and demonstrate feng shui and the principles. And I think we had our other we've had a few classes there, and I know Michelle was at one. But we always include our students to stay with us throughout. So new students are mixed in with graduate students all the time. Um, so in person, we love in person, but throughout COVID, obviously, we had to go towards virtual. Thankfully, we were already both set up to be virtual, so it was really seamless for us. We didn't feel lapse in connection. So we do our program in several different ways. When we do large classes, that requires us to sync up schedules and to do a more structured, I would say like sessions or programs where we meet and go through each topic and which we very much love. Any school director will tell you nothing replaces that energy that you feel, even though you may be tired from all the intense studying and practice. It's very magnetic and, forming those connections. So we do have recordings, hundreds of recordings of these interactions and teachings and demonstrations in several different environments. And we've repurposed a lot of those videos so that we can support students that since COVID have Zoom fatigue, or they are looking for something that's more adaptable to their pace. So we do have self-paced programming, and we do have dialed down more one-on-one mentorship through the self-paced programming. Question and answer sessions, we love those as well too. Really, we've learned to be very flexible and adapt to who we have attracted into our core at the time. We found to meet the needs of people who need us. Forcing structure in that way didn't seem to work for who we attracted, and that tended to be people who were going through major transitions in life, whether it be through divorce or career change, or just really like finding themselves again or their intuitive selves again and feeling a calling. We've had students douse a map and say, "Oh, I'm supposed to go to Florida. I don't know why. Let me look it up. Oh, Steve and Lisa are there. I'll be right there." So, much like the hexagrams and the I Ching teach us, we're very much adjusting our sales as we move forward to adapt to meet the needs. So, yeah, I don't know if that gives you enough to your question there.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you have a variety of ways for
Yeah.
show
Yeah,
up.
there's several pathways. Michelle herself, that we'll talk a little bit more with her in a bit, came in through more of a real estate pathway. So we have a real estate foundations pathway, and then we have a more intuitive based, energetic based pathway. They both teach the same content, but they're framed a little bit different to be easily received by who's coming in. So it's a choose your own adventure. I should change it to that, but it's a choose your own adventure in learning with us. And Steve and I like that.
That's great. Well, so let's move over to Michelle. Michelle, if you'd like to talk about anything you like, your experience, what brought you to Lisa and Steve's school, the whole choose your adventure experience.
Mhm. Well, I found Lisa and Steve. I didn't find them actually. They found me. I got a message from Steve out of the blue on LinkedIn about his Feng Shui real estate program. And it's funny because about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, maybe even more before that, I took a 1 day real estate, like Feng Shui staging type of class, like how to use Feng Shui to prepare a house for listing, because I was a realtor. Um, and then he reached, and I found it very interesting, but I was just busy. I was also still pretty much like in the rat race at that point. I like to say it like ignorantly bliss back then. And I just never made the time. Well, then he reached out to me and I was like, well, okay, that's interesting. I like this a lot. I'm going to look into it. So I talked to him and I ended up signing up for the class. And I was lucky enough to go down to Florida for the first few days of the class and meet some students that were taking the same curriculum as me. And I got to meet Lisa and Steve in person. It was freaking amazing. I wish you would start doing more classes there. I'll come down and help you, Lisa.
Oh, yes,
I will.
yes.
I love
I
that
will
area.
interject. That was many years ago, and since then, Michelle's been working through postgraduate with me, so she is on a pathway towards leadership and mentoring, and as she built her business too.
Yeah, that Lisa really didn't give me a choice with that. So she's really good at pulling out um, the best parts of her students. You know what I mean? Like highlighting what they're really good at instead of forcing them to fit into a certain mold. She's really good at identifying what their strengths are and then like, let's focus on that more, a little bit more than what you can't do because you can always build on your strengths, right? But I have to say, my overall experience with the intrinsic school of Feng Shui has been stellar. Like, I literally do not have a complaint. Um, it's just been
I
like
hear
she said.
you though.
Even if you weren't here, I would say the same thing, Lisa. I have no complaints about the school. She is right when she says it's the perfect blend of like the mundane, earthly things, like the everyday things we see in land form, but also the more etherical or esoteric, like components of BTB feng shui, which is what I have learned is what I love. Like, I'll
Mhm.
sit and, like read the I Ching and then design some feng shui stuff around my clients' I Ching reading. Like, I love that kind of stuff, but a lot of people don't. They're just more straightforward, more classical, and that's great too. I mean, every type of feng shui has its place and its person that it's meant for. So, yeah, I would highly recommend if anybody's interested in learning feng shui to reach out to Lisa and Steve because they will not be disappointed.
Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like very individualized training and experience, drawing from many different perspectives and pathways.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I get this in here. I know, Lisa, that you are really interested in talking about times of transition and why feng shui or why what your school and what you're doing is so important now. So whatever you would like to share on that topic, we'd love.
Yeah, I mean it's baked into the name, Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. So Feng Shui is intrinsic, right? It's intrinsic, and we truly believe that, and it can meet the needs. It can meet you where you are in life. And we believe that it's something that we have awareness of when we're little kids before we're fully, mentally formed and we're 5 years old and we have a shift in consciousness, that we get into the rat race of life that Michelle talks about, and we are disconnected oftentimes from these very innate abilities that we have to communicate and to have harmony with our surroundings and nature. So people in transition start to realize, especially during COVID, I'm in an environment, many people reached out to us as, I think you might have experienced this too during COVID. I'm in a room and it's dark and I feel very sad, and let me just open the windows. Wow, like possibilities are there. So being in periods of transition and being able to feel, sense, experience the subtle energy that can be so powerful, support you during these times, and understanding that you can manipulate and direct energy and to receive energy and to give energy. And there's that reciprocity between your inner self and your environment. Being able to have this knowledge during transitions helps you to have the clarity and ease. So I really truly believe that when people are seeking for answers, and they might be in Google and these days ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, and they're saying, how can I get through this period of transition better? I bet many of them, that's how they find Feng Shui or reconnect with Feng Shui and like, this helps me. How can I learn more about this? And just like I'm sure many of the other school directors can attest, you're visible to the right people at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feel that connection, and then you become lifelong partners together in growing and expanding in something that can help so many people. So you can get your energy right, and then gets the energy right around you.
If I might interject one thing to kind of piggyback off of what Lisa's saying, is Lisa and Steve do a great job of showing you that even in times of uncertainty or great change, whether it's an internal change or externally in the world, we might not be able to control the overall current of the collective energy, but there are things that you can do within yourself that help you navigate the
Mhm.
energy that we're experiencing. And I think for a lot of people, and me, including me, that gives me a sense of safety, of secure. I feel more secure in the world because I understand how to work with energy now, and everything that emanates energy, whether it's a color or a scent or a element, or you learn how you can use all of these generators of energy in your home and in your offices to make you feel secure and safe, which is what we all need more of, I believe.
Right.
That's so beautiful, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's the truth.
It truly is. Yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that's on your mind or that you'd like to share, Lisa?
I would just say if this video has found anyone who's experiencing a transition or a calling in life and they're not quite sure how to answer it, at least reach out to me and Steve. We would love to have a conversation for you and see if you're a great fit to come into our program and offer you the different pathways. We love the International Feng Shui Guild, and we are so proud to be in the community that we pay for each of our graduate students' first year into the guild as a member. And every single student who comes through learns why we believe so much in that connectivity and broadening our help with people, and maintaining our practice and growing and learning each day. And upholding to the ethics and the mission. So I would say that, like, if you are confused by reading books, and a lot of people say, like, I know just enough feng shui to be dangerous because they've read books. Well, if you want to go beyond that, or you feel like, feng shui is a club that you don't quite fit into, I encourage you just to have that conversation with us, and we're always happy to point you in the right direction, whether it's with us or with another school, in the International Feng Shui Guild.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for being here today. And what we've been telling people is, I think anyone can learn just from this video or what you have to offer. And what we love at IFSG, and I think what we all support, is everyone finds the school or the person or the practitioner they're meant to be with. So,
Yep.
Absolutely. You're going to spend a lot of time with us. So, and once you're in our circle, we stay connected. So make sure that you connect with your community and the school that's the right fit for you, because it requires a lot of interaction.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.